afternoon from the International Forecaster. Good afternoon, Bob.
Good afternoon. I was just doing some numbers here, getting the late quotes. It was a turnaround day today. Last night at 11 p.m. Eastern, gold was up 10.50 as the Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange. Hold on one second. I missed it. The Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange was up, was opening for the first time, and silver was up 96 cents at that time. And into the opening, we were up 12.80 in gold and 110 in silver on COMEX. And presently, I don't have the spot closes yet. Presently, we have gold in June, 1494.30, up 14.50. And silver, I missed it, but it'll be coming around. It's 35 something.
35.
I'll have a quote on that in a little while. One of the interesting things was the latest COT report. Hedge funds, managed money, banks in general, when silver took off from $30 to $48, they sold their longs and they covered their shorts, which meant when the price was driven down, and they were using derivatives to do that, so it doesn't show up in the COT report, commitment of traders. So you don't know how they did it unless, like myself, you know what they're doing. So they're using derivatives to hit the market with, and the covers on the sellers showed up differently. 35.05 up 155. Okay, I'm glad we got that. And so when gold and silver came down, gold didn't really come down much at all. But the silver, when it hit 32.5, 33.5, those same sellers were buyers. And they know that there's no long overhead or overhang ahead of them on the long side. So my guess is they're going to go very, very long, and that'll start showing up next week. And the first technical level will be 40 to 42, and then the second, of course, will be the former high. And I think it's not going to take long to get there. And as I explained when we saw the correction, and that is that usually when something spikes like that, it'll spike right up again. And I said, when we reach a bottom and it spikes back, it'll probably spike $5 or $6 immediately. And that's exactly what happened. We up to 38, 39 on silver. I forget what the gold numbers were. And so we're at a position now where you should be a buyer, if you can be. Gold's up 14 and silver's up 155 at this moment. That's June and July. And I have been a buyer this week, again, in this area. And I just think it's a great idea. So you put your money where your mouth is. evidently, we're just getting a normal market flow in Hong Kong. But over a period of the next couple of weeks, we'll have a fairly good idea what's going on. There's, in gold and silver, there is, particularly in silver, there is derivative-based selling, but there's a lot of futures buying. And I think people are going to be surprised when the report comes out on Friday for the action up until the past Tuesday, that the longs are outnumbering the shorts on a net basis. I think the overall short position is about, it's inconsequential, let's put it that way. The long position is about 17,000. I have to look at my numbers here again. I think it's about 17,000. I always grab the wrong thing. Oh, well. I'll find it. I'll come back to it. But anyway, I've come to the conclusion that although I don't like the man, and he's at the very top part of the Illuminati pyramid, Dominique Strauss-Kahn, I think he was set up. And there's a number of reasons. I think there's two main reasons, plus his arrogance. But I think he was set up. He wanted to keep SDRs, and the Americans want to get rid of them. And the reason why is that they want the world reserve currency to remain the dollar. And that's after it's been at a meeting with all the other countries, and it's been revalued and devalued against other currencies, and there has been a default. To what degree, I don't know. I kind of figure it's going to be 2/3, so the people who are lent money will get 30 cents on the dollar. That's my thinking on that. And I just got this report here. Hedge funds, commodity trading advisors, etc., held 22,250 COMEX silver futures long and only almost 5,000 short. Net figure is long 17,457. So they did a heap of short covering. So that is out of the way. And that's terrific. So we don't have to deal with that anymore. Getting back to Mr. Strauss-Kahn, the SDR, and he wanted to be more helpful to countries that were in trouble. And the people who created the IMF out of New York, the bankers, created it as a looting operation. It's what it's been from the very beginning. And they don't want that to happen. Now that seat as the head of the IMF has perpetually belonged to a European. They want to keep it that way, and the U.S. doesn't want to. They want Lipsky to run it, who's former J.P. Morgan Chase. And he was eminent, evidently, and they set him up. I mean, this man has all the money in the world. Pays $3,000 a month for a suite. A night, they should say, for a suite. I mean, he's not going to go attacking some old black woman. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Is it a black woman?
Yeah.
Well, what I find interesting, Bob, is, well, I haven't seen any pictures. I haven't seen any information on her. My question is, I mean, more than half the world believes it was a setup. I mean, how is that going to play out in the long run? I mean, this is going to backfire.
Well, I think the news is going to come out, and everybody's going to say, hey, we can't believe, again, anything that these people tell us. This guy's sitting in jail. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We don't like the guy.
No.
But that's wrong. I mean, we're fair-minded people. I mean, if somebody did something like murder somebody, we should hang them. If they rape somebody, they should go to jail for 15 years. If they didn't do anything, the people who set them up should go to jail. And that's the way it should work. Well, anyway, that's what I think that saga is all about. The big winner here is Marine Le Pen. And she was carrying about a 21% plus side. I've known Marina since she was in her early 20s. Her father's a very good friend of mine. And he only got 19% when he ran for the presidency of France. They just weren't still ready for him. He started his National Front in 1974 after he had an accident in Algeria jumping out of a plane. He was a captain in the Foreign Legion. In the Foreign Legion, you only have French officers, and everybody else are foreigners. And he was at the Bien Phu, incidentally, and he was taken out wounded, and the following day the place fell. And, of course, they butchered everybody. And so he was very fortunate. And he was in on the Salon group in, I think it was 68. They were going to take over the French government, have a coup, and the coup was discovered. But he was in the hospital having gotten hurt and jumping into Algeria. There was a war between the French and the Algerians at that time. And I'm not sure on all the dates, but anyway, he started the National Front in 74. He's a great guy, and a real man's man, if you may. Gold's up 1480, silver's up 159. And so I know Marina quite well, and her sister's about 5 or 6 years younger. I can't remember her name. But Marina's been in politics in France since she was 21. And this knocking out of Strauss-Kahn as a candidate, who probably would have been the next president, probably will give her another probably 9 points. So she should have about 30% approval, and that gives her a shot, number one, at the finals, because it won't be a clear-cut winner, and she'll go against Sarkozy. And the difference between the two is pretty stark. I still have a lot of pictures here with Le Pen and I and the family, etc. I don't know where they are. They pop. I have one of them out, which I have framed, but the rest of them, they're in my books, so to speak. But anyway, that's my take on that. And that means that the New York police had to be in on it and everything. But
how is it going to play?
They're perpetually corrupt.
How is this going to play out? I mean, they really, I mean, they can't really prosecute the guy. I mean, wouldn't someone his stature have some sort of immunity and so forth?
No.
No?
He was on personal business, so it wasn't covered under the IMF. And so 160 on silver on the upside, 35.09. So he wasn't covered on that. Now they're talking about bail, and they're talking immediately about getting rid of them out of the IMF. That's part of what this is all about. And they wanted them out of there. And, you know, everybody in Washington, Paris, they know what's going on.
Yep.
And they're just not going to tell you. So what's that?
Would there have been any, I mean, you're right. I mean, the judges, I mean, everything, the courts.
Well, it's all rigged.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. A good friend of mine, who I haven't seen for some years, was a Gold Shield detective in New York City. And I met him through another New York friend some years before. And he was first on the scene with others when they got the call when Nelson Rockefeller had a heart attack and died. And what never got into the newspapers is that he was using butyl nitrate. And he was involved in a sex orgy. And that's why it never got in the papers. He overexerted himself, I guess. But that's the sort of thing that goes on in New York City. Cover up after cover up after cover up. And that's just the way it is.
I mean, this was kind of quite obvious, so it is amazing. You know. I mean, how's it going to play out?
It's an amazing world. It is not what you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like they almost don't even care anymore if people see through it or not, what is reported and so forth.
That's right.
It's like they just don't care.
That's right. Same with their legislatures and the Constitution. Now, we got one question here today. Let me find it. I only got 3 of them. I think, no, 2 of them. 2 of them.
We got a couple.
What's really behind Ron Paul's statement that the U.S. should sell its gold?
Oh, yeah.
Is it to expose the fact that the U.S. does, in fact, not own any gold, and it was stolen years ago? And the answer, Paul, is yes. Mm-hmm. If they got anything, they got a little bit. And that was borne out about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. When, for delivery, gold arrived, which had been sold, in undeliverable form. And it was melt. And melt is about 80%. So it's certainly not anywhere near good delivery. Had to be re-refined, and the difference had to be made up. I don't know how they did it. But the U.S. was the seller. And they are the only ones that I know of in the world that had coin melt. And so that was, I think, part of what they had left. Now, they may have more coin melt, but they only got 25% of the coins in the country in June of 33. And that's an approximate figure. How much coin melt they sold, I don't know. Now, you would have thought they'd have enough brains to refine it and put it in good delivery form so they wouldn't have been exposed for what they're doing. And a couple of people wrote about it besides me at the time, but not many people paid attention. They haven't been following gold and silver for the years that I have. And, I mean, after a while, you know what these guys are going to do. But that was a stupid mistake. And Ron Paul says, hey, show me the gold. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me it belongs to somebody else and you're borrowing it. So I think that campaign of misdirection by Mr. William Daley, who is the economic advisor to the president and former head of the Midwest office of J.P. Morgan Chase, He's not going to fool anybody with that. And Ted Truman is supposed to be the ramrod in this, and they drag his sorry whatchamacallit out every time they want some dirty work done. It's not going to work. So all of you people in Washington who are listening to the program, you're screwed, because the word is out. So you may as well pack your program away, because this is going to work, because we're way ahead of you. Second question from Paul. Now that the silver bubble has burst, should I buy shares of Netflix? Well, if I were you, I'd buy at least $1 million. It's only selling for about $234 a share. So you get that kind of dough, so you can do that. So I'm only kidding, but that's exactly what he put down here. And there was never a silver bubble. And that was normal short covering. That's it. As we look back, that's what drove the upside. A lot of buying on the way, but most of it was buying on their shorts, being bought in at a loss, and they were selling their longs too. Every player was different. Some made money, some lost a lot of money. Next question from Nancy.
Up, I hear the music, Bob. We're just going to have to wait until we come back.
Years ahead of the dominant media, FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net, around the world and on satellite.
Record budget deficits, bankruptcies galore, and the U.S. dollar is at an all-time low. With today's gloomy economic outlook, safe investments are often hard to find. For over a decade, Melody Cedarstrom at Discount Gold and Silver Trading Company has been helping people secure their future by investing in the precious metals. Melody has the honesty, integrity, and experience that is often lacking in the precious metals business. Let her put it to work for you. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188.
Hi, Nicholas here. I used to lug those big jugs to the market to fill with water from those coin-operated filter machines, 25 cents a gallon or 5 gallons for $1. I used to. Then I got the big Berkey. Now I save my back and hundreds of dollars too. I was paying $600 for the same 3,000 gallons of water that a pair of black Berkey filters will provide from my own tap for only $99. This means that your Berkey water system will entirely pay for itself with only 1,500 gallons of use. And then you will still have 1,500 gallons left before you need to replace the filters. Do the math. Stop throwing your money away on bottled water and filter dispensers that may or may not be delivering as promised. For a limited time, First Amendment Radio is offering 10% off on the most popular Berkey water systems. Visit the shopping page at FirstAmendmentRadio.com or call us at 559-781-3773 for more information. Leave your name and address and we'll send you this special offer. Do it now. First Amendment Radio is an authorized distributor of Berkey products. The Greatest Prophecy DVD from Cross the Border Productions. Embrace the little-known but greatest prophecy given by the great high priest. The pre-incarnate Messiah reveals God's once secret plan for mankind. Believe it. Behold, the end times in Daniel chapter 2, because
the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
It is the key to prophecy future. Comprehend the 7-year Great Tribulation deception. Be not deceived. Understand the great prophecy delusion, because
if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Be forewarned. America in prophecy, exposed for all to see. The mark of the beast. No, it's not a biochip. A much better and more secure technology is already here, and you are already using it. 2 copies, one for you and one for you to give away. when you send a support donation of $25 to First Amendment Radio. Use the Chip-In event on our website or send $25 cash to First Amendment Radio, 139 East Tulare Avenue, Tulare, California, 93274. Make copies and give them away. Send $25 cash for 2 copies of The Greatest Prophecy DVD. That's First Amendment Radio, 139 East Tulare Avenue, Tulare, Tulare, California, 93274. A wise man is forewarned and prepares for the time to come. The Greatest Prophecy DVD.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net, around the world and on satellite.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're listening to Financial Survival, brought to you by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. I'm Melody Cedarstrom. My telephone number is 1-800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188 for all your gold and silver coin needs here at Discount Gold and Silver Trading. For your complimentary issue, please, of the International Forecaster, please use our 800 number. And Bob, would you like to tell us about the International Forecaster, please?
The forecast is about business, finance, economic, social, and political commentary around the world. We publish on Wednesday and Saturdays. We're about 40 pages each time. We have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the Internet. And everything you need to know each week is in there. You don't have to go anyplace else. You can get a free introductory copy by going to theinternationalforecaster.com. theinternationalforecaster.com or to www.intforecaster.com. That's int, forecaster.com. If you have a question, we answer everyone. Or if you would like a copy, or if you'd like a copy of our latest gold and silver share releases, email me at Bob, B-O-B, at intforecaster.com. Bob at intforecaster.com. You can also call toll-free, and that number is...
Yes, they can, at 800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188 for all your gold and silver coin needs and your complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. Oh, boy, what a day. It was an exciting day. We were running a special in an earlier program that we did today, Bob. It's a great little special. It's a one coin. It's a Swiss franc, $344. And with that, you get a 50-cent piece. A free 50-cent piece is included in there. It's a Kennedy half, Franklin, maybe even a Walking Liberty, depending on what the availability is. But so a Swiss franc, Ben Franklin, or Kennedy half is included, and that also includes your shipping. So a great little package on there, and I didn't figure out how many they would have to purchase if for a complimentary issue or a subscription to the International Forecaster. But give us a call, and we'll work it out for you. We'll make you a better deal. $344 Swiss franc, brilliant uncirculated pre-1933, almost a quarter of an ounce of gold, and a 50-cent piece that's included in that price, along with your shipping, $344. For the late night listeners, you got to get in on this right away if you want this purchase, and you can buy 1, 2, 10, or 20. There is a limited amount, so I might have